before we start actually going into the questions, I want to have one more video that basically covers how I think you should prepare in order to do your best in this test. So first, in terms of schoolwork, you obviously want to take at least your basic high school chemistry class, but an honors or an AP class is preferred. In fact, if you're planning on taking AP chemistry, I'd recommend you wait to take the SAT subject test until you have done a lot in AP chemistry, because AP is going to give you more than enough preparation for what you need for this test. Now, of course, if you do honors, you might have a few gaps here and there that you need to fill in, but you can still do it with honors as well. So really, in the end, do it with what fits in your study schedule and with your testing schedule. If you can wait until you do it after AP, that's great. But if you can't, or if you're not taking AP, that's fine. You can still take it. In general, when we're doing this videos that are going to come, what I want you to do is work through the practice tests one by one. So work through the practice questions on your own first before we actually go over them. What I don't want you to do is watch the videos of me working through the problems without you having worked through them yourself first. So if you want, you can do the practice tests by as a whole. So you can do an entire practice test in an hour, see how you do, then watch the particular questions and answers that you have issues with in the videos, or you can just do it question by question. You can pick and choose. I mean, it's up to you, whatever you think is the best. I would recommend, though, to leave at least one test for a timed practice. In other words, if you take 2 of the tests and do them piece by piece, that's fine, but leave at least one. I might recommend the one from the official study guide. Leave that one for you to do as a full, complete practice test, after you've completed it, then you can come back and watch the relevant videos. The videos are organized by test and by topic, so if you want to look at them by test and test number, that's fine, but I've also organized them within the categories that we saw in the previous video. So these are questions from laboratory, these are questions from stoichiometry, these are questions from thermochemistry, things like that. So you can get it organized depending on what you need. Let's briefly talk about pacing. Pacing is not as much of an issue in this test in terms of specific strategies, because there's only one section. But the one thing I'd say, a good general rule for any test, including the regular SAT, is don't get bogged down. And this can happen particularly when you are working in the relationship analysis questions. They're in the middle of the test. They're right after the classification sets, right before the multiple choice. And it's really easy to get really confused and lost in them and to burn a lot of time. You only have an hour for 85 questions. That means it's less than a minute per question, so you can't waste time. So I might even recommend for some students, if you're finding yourself getting really bogged down in the relationship analysis questions, to skip those, leave them to the end, and then come back to them, just so you can make sure you can get to the multiple choice all the way through those before you commit a lot of time to those other questions. So just in general, don't get bogged down. Keep moving. Don't spend a lot of time on individual questions. If you don't know the question, don't spend minutes trying to figure out a guess. Just move on, finish the other questions, and then come back to it if you have the time. In general, once you've done these videos and once you've done these review, you want to keep track of the topics that are still tricking you. In that case, if you still want more help, you want to review those topics in books like Barron's. I recommend Barron's is the most effective book out of the group. McGraw-Hill is pretty good and Princeton View is pretty good. But the fact of the matter is, as I'm sure you found out, there's just not a really good stuff out there in terms of review. So you kind of have to do a patchwork. These videos, this series will definitely help you, definitely get you a lot of the way there. For more information, you'll want to check out probably the Barron's, if not these other books as well. And in general, if you want me to go into more depth on a topic, let me know. So email me, message me, whatever. Let me know that you want more help or information on a particular topic, maybe one we did in a video or something, and I'll gladly make specific videos targeting those areas. So you have me as a resource too. You just got to let me know what you want to know. All right, so let's dive right into the first question.